Hello, Talk Funders. Today we're talking to David from Funded Today. Hello, David. How are you?
Hey, doing all right. Thank you.
And you're in getting warm Utah at the moment.
Yep. Yeah. It's we're seeing signs of spring. It's about 64 degrees outside right now and sunny. And yeah, if I could, I might just take my desk out there and enjoy working outside today if I could.
Wow, it's so warm. Wow. Okay. Well, I think the best way to move the interview forward, David, is if we just go straight on to look at the Funded Today website. So I'm just going to share the screen now, David. Can you see that okay, David?
Yep.
Okay. So this is your Funded Today website. And we were just chatting before the beginning of the interview that like myself, you guys started off around 2014, 2015. Is that correct?
Yeah, we started in mid 2014, about June, here in Utah Silicon Slopes. And our two co-founders got together to help a campaign. Zach Smith was being a consultant at that time for a company that was called Roosport that had this really cool magnetic runner's pocket. And they were thinking they wanted to crowdfund it. And he didn't really know anything about crowdfunding at the time, but he was willing to give it a shot. And things are going all right. And he brought on his Thomas, our other co-founder, to help out with that. And Thomas was very good at using paid media to raise funds for political campaigns. So he applied it to crowdfunding, and we had some pretty amazing results. And so it was so good that word of mouth started spreading, and other people started contacting us. Hey, how can we get you to help our campaign? And pretty soon they were realizing we got a business opportunity here. You know, we could go into businesses, doing this full time, I think. And so they did, and they got a website set up. They got chartered, and then they started hiring people. They started delegating responsibility to different people. First they went with sales, and then they started finding people for ads and cross promotions, affiliate marketing, public relations, all the stuff we did. And eventually I came in to help out, just helping oversee operations and keeping everything running smoothly and orienting new clients and things like that. So I've had the blessing of being able to kind of watch all of our company's operations as they're taking place day to day, and just be part of just observe that amazing growth taking place. And it's been quite a ride.
And just you mentioned there, did you say Silicon Slopes, Utah? What was that?
Yeah, it's what some people have nicknamed this part of Utah because there's Silicon Valley in California, which has been developing for a long time as a major hub of high tech industry. But over time, there's some other places that have been where that's have also been home to a number of high tech companies, and they haven't developed as much or as quickly, but they're still having significant growth and an opportunity. And Utah is one of those places.
Fantastic. And probably because of the change that this pandemic has brought, Silicon Slopes might even boom even more by the sounds of it, as people leave possibly Silicon Valley.
Yeah, there's definitely an exodus from California these days, with skyrocketing property values and so forth. The middle class is fleeing in droves, and quite a few of them are coming here to Utah, and our economy is booming these days. So yeah.
Great. Well, let's look at your very impressive website, your Funded Today website, David. As I say, whenever I can remember you starting off 2014, 2015, and with the relaunch of Talkfunding at the end of 2020, I came across Funded Today again. And my goodness, have you guys grown in the 5 or 6 years? Because now, as it says very clearly on the front of the website, you've raised over $350 million by supporting Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns to really support and create value companies. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's been fun to see those numbers go up and up and up. So.
And can I say, I mean, I have to admit, I find that the website, the front page is really engaging for somebody who is looking for help to crowdfund their product. because it basically, it says how much do you want to raise, and then it's like, you know, you can slide the bar along, like, you know, $200, $300,000, etc., etc. I just thought it was so interactive, you know. So say if you want to raise $130, and then you can go on, what's your budget? You know, it's really, really good. It really is engaging to really, and you can see really the ethos of Funded today is to really support right from the get-go would-be crowdfunders.
Yep.
You mainly specialize in Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns. Is that correct?
That's right. We made some effort to expand our niche somewhat into other areas like Amazon marketing, but it hasn't worked out too well so far. Any things we tried, but that doesn't mean it won't in the future. But yeah, so far we're still very focused mostly on Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns.
And what is the nature of those campaigns? Like my initial thoughts is it's mainly physical products that you are really supporting.
Yeah, we've tried working with some other products like, you know, books and films and things like that. And there's certainly a great variety of such products in Kickstarter, especially really artsy things that Kickstarter co-founders and staff tend to like a lot. But we've definitely found the most success with products in the tech and design categories, and the game category also. Those three, and some others at times, but mostly those three. Yeah, so that's where we've had our most success so far.
So what was the three products again? The three product types?
Categories are tech, design, and games.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic. And then just scrolling down, these are some of the partners that you've partnered with. Is, you know, these are all really big names. Or, you know, you've got TechCrunch, you've got CNET.com, the Huffington Post, Digital Times, and dear old Mashable at the end, which has really fallen into your niche. It's really a big overlap.
Yeah, well, we've had some articles in there before, yeah, with our PR team and such. So
great. Now just move on to the get more pledges, which is really getting into this. You know, look at how you do really support. So once the would-be crowdfunders, you know, come in and they work through this here next step toolbar here on the front page, you can really look at the get more pledges tab at the top, which again I found amazing. You've a really informative video here, and then down below you have the case studies of successful products. Can we talk a little bit about the actual video? I'll just play it on silent at the moment, David. I'll just let the video run. This is the video from the Get More Pledges. So really within Get More Pledges, I mean, you make some really good points in the video, like, because like right from the get-go, whenever you launch a crowdfunding campaign, the time keeps ticking down. It's really good. So your emphasis really is on the pre-launch to the campaign.
Yeah, we work with a lot of clients who are in the process of running campaigns, but we also work with some pre-launch as well. We even help with you know, their video page and so forth. I guess we'll be talking about that a bit later. But yeah, we work with people at all stages. Even some come on with only less than a week left, and we still help them out. We find things to do for them. But yeah, a lot of people will get their product out there. They'll you know, and they'll have a nice initial spike in pledges. That's very common. And then after that, it'll quickly dwindle, and they're like, oh my goodness, you know, my campaign's lost all this momentum. What do I do now? And so they, you know, they hadn't maybe planned on marketing, and they just thought if they just put it out there, the funders will come. And that happens kind of rarely, actually. You know, it seems like mostly if you're expecting people to find their own way to your crowdfunding page, you're going to be sorely disappointed. So we provide the service of some professional marketing that can help reach out to the right audiences, get their attention, attract them to come see what you're doing. And then hopefully that you have a really good page and everything that's going to sell them, and they'll pledge. And we can't guarantee results, of course. There's too much beyond our control. Really, the most fundamental factors to success are the product and price. And, you know, we can't really do anything about that. You know, all we can do is the marketing. We can only do so much for an Edsel. And, you know, there's definitely some figurative Edsels out there, but we got a lot of really great campaigns too, and we're able to raise them a lot of money, which is a thrill. You know, it's really nice helping them connect with customers who love and appreciate what they're doing, and it's a win-win-win all around. So
and I think that's important. You know, you made the point, and also the video makes the point, is that you come in and can come in and support. Funded Today can come in and support at any point in the campaign. And there's a great line in the video where the video says, you make small campaigns huge, and huge campaigns massive, which I think is a lovely way of looking at, okay, you've got the essential elements of the crowdfunder is, you know, you can't really do much about the product or the price, but your leverage, your worth really comes into marketing and pushing that, no matter what stage of the campaign, that you can really help them make small campaigns huge and huge campaigns massive, which I think is a lovely ring to it. The other thing that I like to bring up is, could you say something about your number one with Indigo, were as a marketing partner?
Yeah, for a long time, Indiegogo had a partners page where they had all their different partners ranked according to, I don't know exactly the algorithm, but there was a number of campaigns that we worked with and the total funds that we raised. And they did that for a few years or so. They finally removed that, but until they removed it, we were very clearly in first place for a long time. And yeah, that first became apparent. I think it was around the beginning of 2016 when we first noticed that we were number one on there, and it was exciting, and we're happy to maintain that status, just keep getting higher and higher as far as funds raised and partners and so forth. So, and
obviously by this stage, 5-6 years on, you've really great links into Indiegogo. And the second one is with the Kickstarter. You also said you drive more visitors to Kickstarter than any other company, which is fantastic in terms of winning for the success of your crowdfunding campaigns that you're supporting. Fantastic. The other element of the video is in terms of the tactics that you use, which is just later on, which I found very interesting. Some of the tactics you mentioned were paid advertising. This was more in terms of paid advertising, cross promotion, media and journalist outreach, the cashback club, which we can talk to with in the backstory, but personalized consulting and mega influencers. I always think paid advertising. I know there's two sort of differentials in there, which we'll talk about in a moment, but there it is actually there in the video here. You're talking about paid advertising. So what does that actually mean? Say to a would-be crowdfunder who doesn't really understand what you do, what does what a campaign does? What does paid advertising mean?
Yeah, paid advertising is we found to be the most, for a long time, the most effective means for raising pledges for our clients. That was what our co-founder Thomas was really good at for political campaigns. And when he applied to the crowdfunding, I think we're the first company that successfully applied paid advertisement on a consistent basis to crowdfunding. And we're having so much success with it, people were just figuratively knocking on our door at first, trying to get in on it. Because that's the only technique that can potentially bring a steady flow of pledging traffic to your page. When it's done right now, they can be kind of complicated and costly and not always easy to get right. And sometimes we can bring on clients and ads just don't work for them. We were able to find some success with those other techniques we mentioned. But when ads work, they work amazingly, especially when we're first getting started. We had such just incredible results with them. And usually on Facebook, we found that with Facebook and Google are the two that we've used most to raise pledges. Google is really good at targeting intent, and which is great if you are if you for long-term e-commerce. But the problem with crowdfunding is most of the people who pledge don't even know they want what you're offering until they see it. It's like, oh, that's really cool, I want to help fund that. So Google ads kind of only work for supplementary pledges at best for crowdfunding, we found. But Facebook ads, those are really good at targeting people according to characteristics. They're really good at working with lists, like previous customer lists or lookalike audiences from similar campaigns. And those are the audiences we have the most success with. So they're really good at targeting those and just targeting them over and over to exhaustion, which is what you need when you're crowdfunding. You want to reach as many people as you can who might be interested as quickly as you can. And try to get them to come look at what you're doing. And so Yeah, we found a lot of success with Facebook ads. That's been in fact, even as recently as a year ago, and I haven't seen stats since then, but even as recently as a year ago, Facebook ads were still bringing in about half of our revenue from pledges raised for clients.
Wow, fantastic. And then there's cross promotion. What would be an example of cross promotion, David?
Yeah, cross promotions are when two different creators have an agreement to promote each other's campaigns and updates. So one will send out an update, which they should be doing regularly anyway, and at the end of it, they'll say, "Hey, check out some of these campaigns that are helping us out," or something like that. And they'll just list a few other campaigns, and then those other creators will do the same for them. And we found that to be very, very effective at helping with. It has some of the highest conversion rates that you'll ever see in crowdfunding, because you're targeting people who already know the process, even actually pledged recently. And yeah, I mean, we've seen some great conversion rates. So the pledges usually come in flurries, though. You get like a whole spike one day, and that's about it. So if you want something more steady, you got to use ads. But those are really great for raising revenue in that way. And there's something else I was going to say too. They tend to work best between campaigns that either are appealing to similar demographic groups or that are offering complementary products, not competing ones, of course. But yeah, I mean, if you're offering like a really cool hiking backpack and you've got some hiking shoes or something, that could work really well. Yeah.
The next one is media and journalist outreach. And so here we've stopped the video at TechCrunch, and I'm sure there's other ones. So would that be your good sales or working with media and journalist outreach, or would you be introducing the campaigns to that, or how does that all work?
Yeah, we found some success with public relations. Not as much. Public relations seems to be, for a long time, very popular among creators. They just love getting their product out there in the news. We found it's not the most effective way to raise pledges, especially in terms of cost effectiveness, but it's still very popular. And every bit helps. We found crowdfunding marketing is very synergistic. So whatever pledges you're getting from one source, if you start adding other sources, they synergize and you get more from both. So yeah, we definitely offer public relations. We like to send out news releases for our clients, but even more than that, we like to, when we get our PR team involved, we like to try to target journalists one-on-one and get their interest. So we try to send really interesting emails with interesting subject lines that grab their attention. Hey, what's in this? And they look at it and give them some really short, snappy, informative, educational content about what this campaign's all about, and hopefully kind of pique their interest. Emphasize any particularly newsworthy events, like you got a suitcase that climbs stairs, or jeans that never stink or stain, or something like that. That can be really good at piquing interest sometimes.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll leave the cashback club for just maybe for the background part. But you also offer, like, for people who are really, say, struggling with the concept of crowdfunding or are totally new to it, you also offer personalized consulting. Could you say something about that, please?
Yeah, we haven't done that as much as some of these other things. We normally do the work ourselves, but we are capable of that. We have done it before. I remember one particular campaign we did a lot of consulting for. They were producing a film about the Book of Mormon, and that was really neat. We were really excited to help out with that. We really helped them increase their pledge raising capacity quite a bit over what they're already doing, and so yeah.
Fantastic. And then lastly is the mega influencers. Now, I'm not too sure what a mega influencer is. David, maybe you could explain, please.
Yeah, that's part of our public relations. We haven't done as much with that at time. It's been kind of, we've done some things before. In fact, one time we even got, I think, George Takei to feature one of the projects that we were doing. I can't remember which one it was for sure, but yeah, that can be very effective. That's kind of part of our PR, and it's a good thing to arrange before your campaign launches. If you can reach out to influencers and maybe even send them a sample of what you're doing, let them look it over, review it, prepare, and then when the time comes to launch your campaign, then you can let them know and they can release the review and help raise some funds.
Excellent.
Usually they want some kind of upfront fee for what they're doing. It's better if possible to try to talk them out of that and negotiates like a cut of any pledges that they bring, and that gives them kind of a greater incentive to give a good review of what you're doing, try to get people to your page. So
now this page here with the dollars flying up into the sky is sort of like, I suppose this is what everybody really wants to know. You know, it's fantastic what you're doing, but then it's like, okay, how much is this going to cost? How much? I mean, this is great what you're saying. You've raised $350 million, but here I am as a would-be crowdfunder, really leaning on you guys to steer us through a successful campaign. So from this part of the video, and I'll sort of summarize what I think, and then you can say, no, Alan, no, it's not like this. So the first part was like, if you fit into the full criteria, and we can talk about that in a moment, is like there's no charge for ad spending, and all you take is a percentage of the total pledges. And then if you don't fit the full criteria, you offer a product validation service. So would that be correct? Is there sort of those two sort of elements to your costing?
When we first started out, we didn't have any upfront fees at all. But over time, we started finding that it was advantageous because we took on there was a lot of risk in taking on it. Crowdfunding, only about maybe a third of campaigns actually succeed in getting funded, and even fewer of those respond well to marketing or find profitability with it. So we were finding a lot of clients just weren't really profitable to advertise, and ads can be, like I said earlier, a bit expensive and complicated. And we've got people that are experts we need to pay for their services. So we found it helpful to mitigate our risks in order to stay in business with an upfront fee. And for a long time, we were kind of some clients we would waive the fee if we had pretty good confidence in their success, but over time we've actually it's hardly ever that we now don't charge a fee of at least some sort, just because things have changed. Ads aren't as profitable as they once were. They're still very profitable. They're still compared to most other techniques, but we don't have quite the amazing results with we once did, probably because word's gotten around that, hey, ads are effective and lots more people are using them now for their campaigns than they once were. So there's a lot more competition, costs have gone up, people have gotten more accustomed to them who are regular crowdfunders, and I don't really know all the reasons, and I can only speculate on exactly how involved each of those reasons are and the outcome, but they have diminished somewhat over time in their effectiveness, but they're still good, and then we still recommend them. If you can make them work, great. They're one of the best techniques you can find.
So basically, you probably just do an initial, say, discovery call with the would-be crowdfunders. You can basically assess if they're pre-launch or they've started or like they've got 1 week to go sort of thing. And from that, you can sort of, but now with your deep experience can sort of say, okay, look, this is how much this is going to cost. So you can just sort of offer an upfront cost to your would-be clients. Is that correct?
Yeah, the pricing is very customized, very individual. It's something that our client specialists work out with the client. And we do turn a lot of people away, because we don't, which is kind of sad, but there's a lot of products that just don't have, we're pretty confident that we just can't really help very well, but we like to help as many people as we can, and when we can, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. That really explained that very well, David. Thank you very much. We'll just move now on to what I find. Oh, maybe we can just look at some of the case studies. I don't know how recent these are, but Spine Gym looks fantastic, particularly in lockdown, since we're all sort of at home hunching over our desks. A lot of us are working from home. That was amazing. I think that was just an amazing figure where, it was clearly had started off, and it was before you guys come in, had raised a good product in terms of product and price, had raised $8,000, but then you guys came in and whoa, it went up 463,000.
Yeah. That was perhaps one of our biggest successes ever. It was just amazing. They were on track to raise, maybe, just tens of thousands at most, and with our ads and our marketing, just things exploded. It was just incredible. And so
And that was like from the dates at the bottom of the screen. Maybe the audience can't see it. It's like from April to May. It's just like literally a month growth on that. That's amazing.
Mm.
And just one more is the track line. That is a belt, is it?
Yep, they had a really cool belt, and we helped them market it, and yeah, and you can see the results there.
When,
We came forward then with when they had 39,000 or so, and whoop up to 591,000 or so. So
and again, that 40,000 is coming in from the 31st of January, and then by the 28th of February, it had went up to $591,000.
yep.
That's all I can say is impressive, David, with your work. So, and how did you do that? Well, we'll look at the next section of the website, which is called Video and Design, which it's just really is, and really just is Funded Today really brands itself as a crowdfunding agency. Would that be correct?
Yeah, originally a crowdfunding marketing agency, but we since expanded for various reasons. For one thing, we thought it would be good to diversify our offerings a bit. We also thought it'd be good to catch clients earlier in the process. If we do their video on page, they're more likely to work with us for marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a really fantastic video team. I've sometimes thought they're perhaps their best kept secret, but we don't want them to be a secret. We like to get the word out there about them more, but they've just been doing some absolutely wonderful work. We've been really pleased with them.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And that's really what this second video is all about. It really is talking about how you really support the crowdfunding campaign all the way through. I mean, this is a great video. This is probably my level of video work at the moment, David. And it's like, so this is like the 800, rather not even the $8,000 raised fund. This is like the $800 raised video, and then you guys come in, probably doing this on a smartphone, and then all of a sudden, boom, you come in on the video on the right with this, taking it from, $10,000 to over $2 million. And that's the standard that you work to, which is a reflection of the standard that you work to. And I think that's really interesting. So in terms of the video production, which you talk about in this video, you emphasize things like the psychology and messaging. And you really push the professional standards as far as it can go to this broadcast standard of today, and you really use the best equipment and the best price, and you're really using first class. You must seek to produce these videos, and they're really great. I've watched quite a number of them over the last few days. Really great creators and designers.
Oh yeah, I'm thrilled with our team. They're top notch.
And I even like this cube. It's really interesting because it's all, you're sort of, even with this cube, is sort of emphasizing the messaging all right from the beginning of the video. It keeps on cropping up. So it's that idea of continuity and messaging, which is so important within a campaign. So it's incredibly clever. So you got really great people working for you, is all I can say.
The presentation is even more important than the marketing. If you got a great product, but you present it really terribly, and you get some good marketing to bring people to the page, it's the media that converts them. And if you have a terrible salesman, and you're bringing all these people to talk with this terrible salesman who's just not doing his job very well, you're wasting money. Because marketing can be expensive. So why spend a lot of money sending them to a page that isn't going to convert? You need to get your page, and especially your video right first. And once that's right, then you can start thinking more about, okay, how could I get more people to come see this? Because there's no point bringing them there if they're just not going to convert. So we would highly recommend people, focus on their media first and foremost and get that right. And
that's what you do in the second part of the video. You really emphasize the two key elements of the video, getting your video as best as, and also the page, your Kickstarter, your Indiegogo page layout, really looking swish, as I would say. Maybe that's not a correct marketing term. And it really then build your campaign strategies around those two key elements.
Oh yeah.
And the other, sorry, go ahead.
As an example, called Shotbox. They were making a 2.0 version of their product, and we were running some marketing to it, and we seemed to be getting some pretty good traffic and so forth, but it just we're converting very well. And our co-founders figured, hey, this might be a really good chance to test this new marketing vision we're trying to put together and see what they can do with this to revise his media. And so we did. At first he was on track to raise maybe $10,000 at the most. We were having a really hard time finding any audiences at all that were profitable. But once we revised his media, within 48 hours, we found I think at least a dozen or two profitable audiences, and the money just started pouring in. And by the time we were done, he'd raised over 100,000, which is a lot better than the 10,000 or so he's going to raise at first. So
yeah, that's 10x.
Huge.
And I think that's the other thing throughout this video and throughout, everything you're saying really today is like you really go for the consistent messaging all the way through is so important. And the other element is, and this says this tagline that you have here was funded today, you need not hire anyone else. So the idea is you offer everything really in-house. The essential elements of a successful campaign, you can do it all in-house. Yep.
Yeah, we like to bill ourselves as present ourselves as an all-in-one agency. So whatever it is you need for crowdfunding, we're happy. We'll do the marketing, we'll do the creative work, we'll do the consulting if you need any of that instead. Whatever you need us for, we're here. We're able to provide it. So yeah.
And I love this. Get started. Speak to us today. It all starts with action. I mean, I from what engagement I've had again with the crowdfunding campaign, particularly would-be crowdfunders, I really don't think that they realize the amount of work that is involved in a campaign.
Yeah, it's a lot more complicated than just making a presentation and going to a bunch of bankers or venture capitalists or something. It's far more involved. It takes a lot more preparation, a lot more skill, a lot more upfront costs. But I would say in general, the costs are very worth it. I mean, because one of the advantages of crowdfunding is not just raising a lot of money, but it's also building an early customer base, getting a lot of ready feedback, because serial backers are usually very willing to give feedback to creators about what they think about their product and suggestions for improvement and so forth. So that can just be priceless for some, and just be able to get all of that along with the funding. I think is usually well worth the extra cost and effort to try to do it right. But it is hard to do it right. I mean, you have a lot more factors to consider. Raising money from the masses is a lot more involved than just finding the right person, who has a lot of, a big bank account. So.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, David, for talking to Talkfunding today. We really enjoyed this main interview, which has really given us the background history of Funded Today, and also the elements of how to get more pledges, and also how the essential elements of how you get the more pledges by your video and design. So thank you so much for joining us today, David, at Funded Today.